for some reason this morning. So I just got it back up though.
Do you think it was the Chinese?
It might have been the Chinese.
I wasn't saying anything mean about them.
Maybe you're being overly positive.
Well, I did say that there was an implied threat of imprisoning all those children's families and the social credit score and the AI nature of the military parade.
Maybe YouTube wasn't a fan of the positive and the negative of China.
Honey and vinegar. You watch Always Sunny? You ever see that?
Yeah.
Honey and vinegar. Yeah. All right. So President Trump made a point to President Xi that he did bring all of the biggest business leaders in the country, the top 30. Elon Musk is there with his young son, little X. And, I mean, there's a method to the madness here. We want to get good trade deals. It does look like some of those are happening.
All of the great delegation that we have the greatest businessmen, the biggest, I guess, the best in the world. We have amazing people, and they're all with me. Every single one of them. We asked the top 30 in the world, every single one of them said yes. And I didn't want the second or the third in the company. I wanted only the top. And they're here today to pay respects to you and to China. And they look forward to trade and doing business. And it's going to be totally reciprocal on our behalf. So I really look very much forward to our discussion. It's a big discussion. There are those.
So then the summit started behind closed doors. We have been getting some information out of that. Some trade deals have been accomplished. One of them was for NVIDIA. Apparently, the United States has already cleared NVIDIA to sell advanced chips to 10 Chinese firms. This could net us, I think it's, $50 billion, or it gets us access to a $50 billion market. This is how Fox News broke that down. The business leaders are obviously making a dent.
The Commerce Department is reportedly allowing 10 Chinese companies to buy NVIDIA's H200 chips. So what does this mean? Fox Business host Cheryl Tassoni is here with all the details. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi. Well, and we saw Air Force One, when they stopped to refuel in Alaska, pick up NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang. And here you go. Here's the headline. Reuters exclusively reporting this morning that this H200 chip from NVIDIA will be sold to 10 companies in China. Jensen Huang has said that he believes it's a $50 billion market for him. And what's the business? We'll leave it there. So that's one issue. Domestically, though, it is bipartisan. It is manufacturers, steelmakers, auto companies. They don't want the president to allow Chinese electric vehicles to be manufactured.
No, nobody. I don't think any of those car makers want electric Chinese vehicles in our country because have you seen them? They're absolutely wild. And then obviously there's going to be a back door where China can access all of them. And think about how chaotic that would be if there was millions of Chinese electric vehicles, right? And we got into a conflict with China and they have a back door into those cars. Could you imagine the damage that could be done in one day? I mean, it's terrifying. Spoiler alert, all cars can be hacked. I mean, if a car is past 1989, I believe it could probably be hacked. There's enough computer components in there.
Yeah, at latest by the mid 90s, every car should have a computer of some sort in it.
It's not we saw what happened to Michael Hastings.
Ooh.
It's a rabbit hole for you. Google it. Be careful where you Google it.
Get diving.
You get diving down them rabbit holes. So the meeting went on, and it's Trump is like, it's a great honor to be here. President Xi was doing the exact same thing. People are worried about Taiwan, and I understand that 100%. But it looks like as of right now, a lot of the news that's coming out of it is just positive, and it has to deal with economic ties. I will say this though, it's wild to see some of the reports coming from Fox News. Do you know that Fox News actually got ticketed while they were there? They outlined a detailed report on the surveillance state while they were there. And it's like, yeah, they knew you were going to air that before you aired it because you're completely being surveilled. Every single move that an American is making over in China right now is being watched. And they know when they're sleeping, they know when they're eating, they know when they're using the bathroom, they know if they went number one or number two. Make no mistake about it. That's how much surveillance is in China. I'm going to bring you that news from Fox News that they reported. They actually got ticketed while in China. I'll bring you that next. It's wild. If you're watching us on YouTube, I'm going to play some of those videos during the commercial break when Mason didn't want to put the poll up about whether or not we should force him to get half of his hair in cornrows and leave the other half in a fro for a 4th of July celebration. Did you get that poll up, by the way?
I'm typing out the logistics right now.
He's stalling.
Just a little bit.
You are worse. It's harder to negotiate with Mason than the IRGC. 922. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Better Water LLC. I have a brand new water filtration at my home. Water filtration system. It's awesome. It is great. The water softener is fantastic. And if you need one, or you're not sure if you need one, call Better Water today. They'll test your water for free. Now, when they test your water, you might find out the hard way that you have some nasty stuff in there. Don't feel guilt. Don't have water guilt. They can clean it up for you. If you got sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, or even E. coli in your water, well, Better Water offers a ton of options. Reverse osmosis, specialized filters, UV lights. They can clean it up really, really fast. Local company based out of Smyrna, and you've probably already tasted their work. They're treating all the water at the local coffee shops and even the hospitals around town. Stop drinking the junk out of your tap. Give Better Water a call today. Say, Chris Hand said, I need to get my water tested. And they're going to be like, yeah, you really do. 615-355-6063. 615-355-6063. They'll test your water for free. BetterWater.com.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS, United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you've got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit. We have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So we install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations. We install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you'll have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
Welcome back to the YouTube stream. I apologize for Mason's deficiencies here getting the stream started. I wanted to play this video of the Chinese parade for you guys. Tell me that this doesn't look like AI. If it was any other country, I would say that this is 100% AI. Wait for it. And then they start doing the high kicks. Just flawlessly executed. Right here. This looks like 100% AI. The bayonets are sick, though. Look at the legs. It might be AI. Don't mess up. Don't shame your family. I mean, all jokes aside, it is pretty impressive. Pretty cool. They absolutely rolled out the red carpet for him. We'll talk about that a little bit more. We're going to rejoin the stream. Also, I know you looking at the poll, Mason, he didn't even put the option in there that we negotiated, which was half fro, half cornrows. Very disappointed. Many such cases. We'll see you on the other side when we get back to radio. Love you guys. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
It's long been a dirty secret on Capitol Hill, and it's rising to the forefront. It's sexual misconduct. We'll have a story on that. Also, mayhem involving an SRO in a Rutherford County school. That's coming up at the bottom of the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Jay Harper in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Joan Jones is out today. She's got a new grandbaby on the way. Congratulations to Joan.
Congrats.
Very excited. I heard that SRO story that you did, because you did it earlier this morning, Jay. And I just thought to myself, like, this is an advertisement for homeschooling.
Man, no kidding.
Like, if that can happen to an SRO officer, then...
Yeah, it took two of them to get a hold of the situation.
What do you think that they would do to your kid? You know what I mean? Yeah, homeschooling, always the best option. I don't want to spoil it anymore. Jay will have the news in less than 2 minutes here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We were talking about the fact that you're under massive surveillance in China, and they absolutely are watching every move that every American makes. And Fox News, they actually got a ticket yesterday, which was, I think it's hilarious. I'm not going to lie. I'd be lying if I said I didn't think it was funny. I do. I think it's very funny. They said they were parked illegally for 2 minutes, and they got a $40 ticket. And then they went on about how much surveillance is happening inside China. Before you laugh it off, you're like, China, don't worry. There's a data center being built near you that will do the exact same thing here in America. Ready?
Big Brother is watching. There are literally cameras everywhere in Beijing. We are outside the Haidian station, and I can count at least 20 on this corner. In fact, in Beijing, they've added 1,500 cameras just this year alone. They see everything. There's nobody jaywalking here because...
Now, that would make you a little uncomfortable, all the cameras. But what makes me more uncomfortable is casual Brett Baer without a tie on, and his neck and the top of his chest showing. Right? It's like a weird look to see Brett Baer like that. Is that just me?
Yeah, button up.
Button it up. Like we're the guests.
We're the guests. This is a business trip.
Come on, tighten it up.
Nobody jaywalking here because they could get a ticket right away. In fact, our driver parked illegally for 2 minutes, and he got a message on his phone that he got a ticket for about $40 US because they saw it on the camera. Now, there are real questions what the CCP's goal is about citizen tracking and social scoring. They say it's to make everybody feel safe. These cameras are watching every minute. They're everywhere. And while they're watching us here in China, we hope you continue to watch. Special report from Beijing.
Oh, that's pretty good. They're watching us, and we hope you are too. We're Fox News, and we suck. So, remember that one? We used to use that one a lot.
Because we're Fox News, and we suck.
We used to use that a lot. We did. We should bring it back.
Because we're Fox News, and we suck.
Like the half fro, half corn roast. 9:31, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
It is indeed 9:31. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. We'll get you that latest weather forecast, so hang on. An effort now to combat sexual misconduct in Congress. It's a rare bipartisan partnership between the top Republican and Democrat in the House, Speaker Mike Johnson and Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, aimed at combating sexual misconduct on Capitol Hill. It's led by two female members of the House. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien on Capitol Hill.
There are also still active House ethics investigations into a number of members, including Republican Chuck Edwards of North Carolina. Axios reports the investigation is connected in part to his alleged treatment of female staff, including allegations of unwanted attention, gifts, and written letters. Edwards has denied any wrongdoing and said the allegations are politically motivated.
Back here in Middle Tennessee, according to the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, 3 high school students now face serious charges after an alleged altercation with teachers and school resource officers. The sheriff's office said yesterday that Officer Caleb Shadwick reported seeing a 16-year-old Siegel High School student repeatedly shove a teacher in the cafeteria. He responded, reportedly taking the student to the ground. The press release that the sheriff's office sent out said that the student continued resisting, prompting Shadwick to handcuff the kid. As Shadwick escorted the 16-year-old to his office, a 17-year-old student joined in, shoved the officer in the back, and proceeded to punch him in the face multiple times. The 17-year-old, he had to be pepper sprayed by another SRO who joined in. Ultimately, he was charged with felony assault on a first responder as well as disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. The 16-year-old, he was charged with resisting arrest and disorderly conduct. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
38 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen on all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch us on Rumble and YouTube. We have a poll up on the YouTube page. We came up with a bit on the fly. Mason was very jealous that we kept referring to Justin Pearson as the best afro in politics. So he's really grown out the fro. And it looks good. It looks good. And I said, let's put half of that thing in cornrows for the 4th of July.
My only argument against it is I can't have the best fro in Tennessee if we put it in cornrows.
You could have half the best fro. And I think it'll be poofier when the braids come out.
Oh, for sure.
But
not poofy in the way that I want it to be, but
here's the thing, and I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm very disappointed in our audience. Like, very disappointed.
Yeah, you were talking over the commercial break. You're like, what?
More than half of the people that have voted in the poll have voted for you to keep your fro and leave it alone. Like, what do you guys not like fun? I'm sorry. I thought that we were the fun show. I thought that having fun was something we like to do together. But you don't want to join in the fun of me making Mason put half of his hair in cornrows and half of it in a fro.
And walk around as a professional in a building.
We came up with even better ideas, by the way, during the commercial break. I said, we'll give you the pencil chin strap and like a little thin mustache. I'll get you some tube socks that go all the way up to the knees. We'll get you some Dickie shorts and a black and white checkered flannel that you only button at the top.
Only at the top.
It would look intimidating.
It'd be something. Watch, that would happen, and then I would have to meet with clients later that day.
Wouldn't that be
for
sick?
Recordings.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
It'd be so funny.
It's like, yo.
I thought we were meeting Mason. It's like, it is me, fool.
It is. Don't you know I'm loco, essay?
Don't you know me?
So if you would like to see Mason let the fro grow out till the 4th of July. Like, really let it grow out.
Oh, I'm not cutting my hair off until I get down to my goal weight.
And then for the 4th of July, is that on a weekday? Is the 4th of July a weekday today? I mean, this year?
I think so.
Hold on, I'm checking. It's a Saturday. All right, so the 3rd. So you'd rock it for 4th of July weekend. So on the 3rd, or whatever our last day is, I don't know if the company's going to give us an extra day off. Probably not.
Probably not.
But so for all intents and purposes right now, if you guys vote for this, I will pay someone to come in on the 3rd and give Mason half cornrows. Mason already confirmed that he would do it if the people vote for it.
It's going to have to be the 2nd, actually, on that Thursday.
Mason will not subvert the will of the voters.
If it hits, it'll happen.
So
if you guys don't vote for it by the end of the show, it won't happen.
We have Antoine who can run the board now.
Yep.
So Antoine will come in here. He'll run the board the whole day. And during the entire show, we won't shut the stream off. We'll just have Mason on camera getting half of his hair braided.
We'll keep the shot on producer and on Chris, that way, or on guest shot, actually, would be good.
Yeah.
So I could be over here in the corner while it's happening, and you could still do the show.
Dude, we need it. It's nothing to do with politics, but it would be so awesome.
It'd be something.
People want it. People need it.
People don't think it'd be like it is.
But it do. Vote on YouTube. So, all right. So one of the funny things that I've noticed here on this China trip is who Fox News values as employees and who Fox News decides you're not good enough to come with us.
Yeah, you stay home.
In the not good enough category would be Brian Kilmeade. So, sorry, Brian. Sorry, Mr. Kilmeade. Brian Kilmeade was filling in for Hannity last night. I believe it was Hannity. He's filling in for somebody. He's not part of the China crew. And he was talking about Beijing rolling out the red carpet for Donald Trump and how they didn't do it for Barack Hussein Obama, Joe Biden, or Lloyd Austin, or Blinken, or any of those fools. Only for President Trump.
And every detail choreographed that shows they care. And look at who greeted the president, the second most powerful man in China, the vice president, Han Zheng. It's kind of big. The United States coming to town clearly has an impact. So China wanted to make the effort, and they did. Now, compare that to what we saw under the last two administrations. Not good. President Biden's defense secretary, for example, Lloyd Austin, could not get his counterpart on the phone from Beijing for a year and a half.
Trump gets a red carpet. Lloyd Austin can't even get a phone call. Yikes.
And Secretary of State Blinken, remember, he was in Alaska. He got publicly dressed down by Chinese officials in his first year in office. And then there was President Obama's last year in office, his arrival to the G20 summit. Look at this.
As he stepped off Air Force One, the red carpeted stairs were missing, forcing President Obama to use an alternate exit typically reserved for war zones. On the tarmac, a Chinese minder tried to block U.S. press access, screaming at a White House aide, "This is our country, this is our airport." Then he yelled at National Security Advisor Susan Rice and tried to prevent her from entering the president's motorcade. The Secret Service had to intervene.
Little different greeting now, right? It was pretty clear. Beijing did not take them seriously. I don't care who you voted for. That's just a fact.
Do you think that they would have taken Kamala Harris seriously had she won the election? Do you think?
Probably would have shoot her back on the plane.
I mean, for all the blemishes that can come with President Trump, perceived blemishes, the issues that we have with different things. Remember when they told us that the adults were back in charge when Biden was in office? And then all we got from those adults were topless transgenders on the White House lawn and no respect on the world stage. I mean, things are absolutely changing in a positive direction for the perception of America on the global stage. And that goes back to one man, and it's President Trump. And kudos to him for bringing us that respect on the world stage. Like, nobody could do it before him. Barack Obama had to take the short stairs. Biden took the short stairs too, but they were just worried about him falling down. U.S. officials, before these high-stakes meetings behind closed doors, leaked a confidential intel assessment. The intel assessment was leaked to the Washington Post, and it was hours before President Trump was supposed to meet with Xi. And it said that China is trying to maximize its advantage over the United States by using the Iran war. Peter Doocy, who is he's on the A squad because he's in China. He was talking about this on Fox News yesterday.
Post pushed a big story that there is a classified U.S. intelligence assessment that accuses the Chinese basically of using the Iran war to gain leverage over the U.S. with their allies. There's a big PR campaign apparently globally for the Chinese to call the war illegal, and they are even supplying some U.S. allies in the Gulf with defensive weapons. President Trump, it might come up when he sees Xi for the first time in about 4 hours from right now.
Kind of looms large here.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Peter, thanks.
Thank you.
I mean, that's probably an intentional leak, without a doubt, right? Like, just to ease some of that pressure and to let them know that we know. And now we know that they know we know they know. And they know we know they know we know. I'm not going to do it anymore. I thought about it, but I won't. What? Mason's so mad back there.
I'm not mad.
Somebody said, Keith texted in and said, we like fun, but we don't want Mason to look ridiculous. But where's the fun in that, Keith?
Thanks, Keith.
Where's the fun in that? The United States got some good news for NVIDIA. We talked about that. They're going to be able to sell chips to 10 Chinese companies, $50 billion market. But it's also being analyzed just how much respect the president is getting on Xi's home turf in China. And everybody's making note of this. There's no getting around it. Donald Trump is treated with much more respect than many presidents past.
Point here. When President Trump came here 9 years ago, he was given a personal tour of the Forbidden City by President Xi. You may not think that's not a big deal, but in China it is. And earlier today, President Xi gave him a personal tour of the Temple of Heaven, which is a revered site here in Beijing, China, one of its most famous. It's on the southern end of Tiananmen Square, a few miles from where we're sitting right now. And that was a first as well. And the reason you point this out is because the respect that Xi is trying to show President Trump is coming with the expectation that President Trump will in turn show the respect that President Xi expects in this relationship, that he wants to see as a win-win. Right. We can do it together is basically what he's saying. And the other thing from that statement that the Chinese Foreign Ministry put out, Brian, it said the following. He said, we need to find ways to get along well in the new era.
Well, it looks like they are finding ways to get along, and it has to do with money and business and prosperity. And we saw the chip stuff with NVIDIA. We're also seeing some news on oil purchases from the Chinese. But let's backtrack a minute. Scott Bessent was talking earlier today. I'm not sure if he's in China or not. I would assume he is. But Scott Bessent is saying that the Iranian oil storage is completely full. and they can't sell any of it. And the economic situation in Iran is getting worse. They're at a point now where they can't even pay their soldiers because of the dire economic straits that they're in.
What we're seeing is the loading facility, the main loading facility for Iranian oil is a facility called Karg Island. We've seen that there have been no loadings in the past 3 days. We believe their storage is full. None of the ships are getting out. None are coming in, so they're not able to store oil on the water. So they're going to start shutting down their production. We can see that that's happening from satellite photos. But more importantly, Joe, exactly as you said, this is a diabolical regime. Thus far this year, they executed 40,000 people, many of them peaceful protesters. And so how do you deal with a regime like that? You squeeze them economically, and we believe we're at the point where soldiers aren't getting paid. They're not able to replenish their weapon stocks from abroad. So, I think that they are on their last legs, and the blockade, President Trump's blockade, has been a resounding success.
Now, that's Scott Bessent, and he also said that it's in China's best interest to get the Strait of Hormuz open. And you talk about China using Iran as leverage towards us. Well, you could make the exact same argument opposite for both of those countries. We're using it as leverage here. And there are now reports that China is looking to start surging oil imports from Alaska. That's going to squeeze Iran even harder.
Details of the deals China is already committing to and over the last day. Fox Business anchor David Asman trying to put the piece of the puzzle together. David, you've been tracking this. What do you think so far? Because I'm encouraged that we're talking about selling them oil and gas. And I spoke to the senator from Alaska yesterday, and he was telling me that they're looking to explore Alaska, which is a much shorter distance than the Strait of Hormuz.
Absolutely, it is, and it's with specific regard to the rare earths. I mean, drill baby drill. Donald Trump's policy about energy doesn't just deal with oil and oil products. It's also talking about the rare earths that we're hoping to develop here in the United States, getting rid of a lot of the onerous federal regulations that happened were goosed up during the Biden administration. We saw them really roll out during the Obama administration. So we're way behind the curve in terms of doing that. But U.S. companies, with all of their ingenuity.
So that is David Asman, Fox Business anchor. He said we are going to be seeing China getting some oil and gas from Alaska. If they start doing that, I would imagine that they're going to continue doing that because, like they said, it's a bit of a shorter ride than the Strait of Hormuz. On top of that, they've committed to soybeans, buying jets from us. You heard the NVIDIA chip deal. It looks like this is actually playing out really positively for American business interests, which goes back to Donald Trump, the art of the deal, bringing these business leaders with him to get these deals done. We got more on China on the way. The phone lines are open for you as well. 615-737-9986. It's 9:51. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock store. I was talking about it earlier this morning with Dan Mandis. You know that it's free to go to the open house on Saturday, May 30th from 10 to 2, right? And you know that you could win some amazing prizes at the open house on Saturday, May 30th from 10 to 2. We got a list of what they're giving away. Now, we'd already been telling you that they're doubling down. And they doubled down last year as well. But right now, currently, they have over $50,000 worth of incredible prizes to give away in 1 4-hour period on Saturday, May 30th from 10 to 2. Listen to this. Multiple Glock handguns. Stock Glock handguns made even more special by select performance products from Glock Store's favorite vendors. They're going to be giving away 2 Ruger RXM handguns. One of them is going to come with an Aimpoint COA optic. They're going to be giving away tons of optics on their own. Premium red dot optics from brands like Vortex, Holosun, Zerotex, Glock Store M1X frames, the exclusive M1X frame. They say it makes the best concealed carry weapon ever, and over 50 people are going to win one of these. There's going to be Glock Store parts and accessories from trigger kits, weapon lights, suppressors, you name it, plus ammo and range gear. We're going to be giving away Burrow Bullets ammo, Savior pistol cases, electronic ear protection, and more. You can win, and you can win big at the Glock Store 6th Annual Open House on Saturday, May 30th. Get there early, because if you're one of the first people to have the ticket in the bucket, that means there's less tickets in the bucket, so you have a better chance of winning. Myself, Dan Mandis, Matt Murphy, we're all going to be there, and we want to see you there too. Minutes from the airport, we're at the drive from anywhere, always open online, glockstore.com.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
Are you willing to end this conflict with Iran charging tolls for passage through the strait?
Us charging tolls?
Iran.
What about us charging tolls?
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, oh, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us.
In the midst of the U.S.-China summit, a new warning from the Chinese. Also, a new jobs reports out there, and a shocking reversal in a high-profile murder case. We'll have all of that coming up at the top of the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's 9:58, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Headlines on the way with Jay Harper. Jed Harper. Jay Harper, I'm pulling Amandus. Sorry, Jed. Less than 2 minutes. Headlines.
You're menacing in the morning.
That's okay, Chuck. Not a problem.
With our boy Jed. He packed up the family and he moved on down here. Well, we got some audio coming out of China. I don't know if you're familiar. There's a big story happening currently in China.
China?
There's a business meeting with the Chinese.
China?
That's right. And President Trump just sat down with Sean Hannity to talk about China.
China?
That's the one. And he says that our boys over there in China, they're actually they're making some promises. That's what they're doing in China.
China.
We had to get to the angry one. So he sat down and he said that President Xi promised him, which is the Chinese, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. But he said that President Xi promised him that China won't give Iran any weapons or military equipment.
Support of Iran. How big a discussion was that today?
We discussed it. I mean, when you say support, they're not fighting a war with us or anything.
No.
He said he's not going to give military equipment. That's a big statement. He said that today. That's a big statement. He said that strongly. But at the same time, he said, you know, they buy a lot of their oil there, and they'd like to keep doing that.
That wasn't the only statement we got out of there. We also heard, moments ago, I played you that audio that they're talking about getting their oil from Alaska instead. It's a shorter drive, but he also went on to say that President Xi has offered help to open the Strait of Hormuz and make a deal with Iran.
Xi would like to see a deal made. He would like to see a deal made. And he did offer, he said, if I can be of any help at all, I would like to be of help. Because,
he did say that.
Yeah, he did say that. And look, anybody that buys that much oil has obviously got some kind of a relationship with him. But he said, I would love to be of help. If I could be of any help whatsoever, he'd like to see the Hormuz Strait open. He said, if I could be of any help whatsoever, I would like to help.
So the information that's coming out of China based on these high-level meetings taking place late last night in the wee hours of the morning, it's coming fast and furious. We're listening to it for the first time with you guys, and we'll be bringing it to you as quickly as we get it all day long right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
One minute past 10 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A weather forecast is coming up. While both President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping do admit there have been, some productive meetings, there is still a new warning from the Chinese president. He's reporting that he is, talking about what else? Taiwan. We've got more now from ABC's chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce.
In their over 2-hour meeting, Xi delivering a stark warning to Trump about Taiwan, which Beijing claims is its own territory. According to China's state media, Xi telling Trump if the issue is handled poorly, the two countries will collide or even clash. Trump tight-lipped.
How are your talks, sir?
It's great.
Did you talk about Taiwan?
Great place. Incredible. China's beautiful.
Trump hoped to use their sit-down to seal deals on trade and technology, bringing along with him over a dozen American business leaders.
After plunging to their lowest level since 1969 late last month, weekly claims for unemployment benefits have been rising here lately. ABC's Jim Ryan says the trend is continuing.
The number of people filing their first claims for state jobless benefits rose by 12,000 last week to 211,000 altogether. That's more than double what employment analysts were anticipating. The overall number of people receiving some kind of unemployment has slipped a little to 1.7 million.
A reversal in Alex Murdaugh's case, the South Carolina Supreme Court overturning his 2 convictions in the 2021 murders of his wife and son. But his conviction for financial crime still stands, and prosecutors say that means he won't be getting out anytime soon. They also say they're willing to try him again for those murders. The man who tried the case, South Carolina Attorney General lead prosecutor Creighton Waters, he spoke with ABC News.
It doesn't matter that we in the South Carolina State Grand Jury were able to secure all of these financial crimes that we investigated. He is going to be in prison for all of those, and then subsequently the feds came in and indicted him as well. But in the end, none of that does anything to answer the question about these tragic deaths, and they still require an answer. They still require justice.
That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
It's 6 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen on all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch us on Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. We had a poll up on YouTube earlier today that I'm really shocked by the lack of energy from this audience. I talked Mason into, if you guys vote for it, he's been growing out his fro. He's very jealous of Justin Pearson and the best fro in politics. And he said he's not going to let that stand. So he's been growing out his fro. And I said, how about for the 4th of July, we put half of it in cornrows because America, why not? And we put it up for a vote on the YouTube page. And I was of the opinion, I mean, maybe I read the room wrong. I thought this was going to be like 100% to 0. Mason should get half cornrows, half fro.
Yeah, Chris was banking on chaos reigning in the chat.
I thought that we had a few more chaos agents in there than anything else. But the energy just doesn't seem to be behind it.
I saw Murphy voted for it.
Yeah. Because he always leaves his YouTube logged in. So I got 2 votes. I went full California.
I felt betrayed.
No, it was me. I
expected.
I don't know if Matt Murphy knows this, but whenever I get in, Dan doesn't use Chrome because for whatever reason he uses Windows Edge. Is that the Windows browser?
Or Microsoft Edge.
Yeah, it's like the Netscape of browsers. That's what Dan uses. So when I come in, I jump on Google Chrome,
the right one,
and Murphy uses Google Chrome as well. So it's always still logged in under Murphy's profile. So I always steal a like and a view from Matt Murphy, and today I also stole a vote from Matt Murphy. But to be fair, like if we're all things considered equal, I know Matt Murphy likes my show. I know he would watch if he had the time, and I know that he would vote for Mason to have half cornrows and a half fro. So I'm honestly saving him time.
True.
I'm helping him.
You're just taking the initiative, helping out a friend.
This is what friends do. Side note, I got RD on the line. I want to take this call. And then we got a lot of China stuff, but we'll get back to that here in a little bit. But did you see the headlines that are coming out of France? Spicy.
Yeah.
So this is the headline. Well, hold on. Do you remember when Brigitte Macron slapped Emmanuel Macron?
Yeah, some impactful news.
So this is why you deserve cornrows. I'm just letting you know.
No, that was
It's
good.
Comments like that.
Please.
So, okay, so everybody remembers that he was getting off the plane and he got a haymaker from his wife. I don't want to go full Candace Owens, but, I think it's funny. So, anyway, he got punched by that dude. and what? If you're watching on Super Talk TV, that's the video with accompanying soundtrack where he's getting haymakered by his wife. We're now learning that, and this is all rumors, okay? This is not substantiated in any way. But a new book is claiming that Brigitte threw that punch at Emmanuel because she discovered some flirty texts with an Iranian actress on Emmanuel's phone.
What?
Now, I don't believe this news at all. Because obviously, he has a thing for older male teachers, not female Iranian actresses. What? I love the music. It's just perfect.
It's got a thing for a man in charge. I mean, a woman in charge.
Can you imagine? Like, all of this news is going around the world, and then, but you're the president of France, which is it's a serious country. And everybody's talking about you getting slapped by your wife. Yikes.
Do you think it threw a white flag after that?
There was a preemptive white flag.
It was there already.
It was, yeah. That's the national flag, actually.
Ah, true.
Oui. All right, so elsewhere in the news, this story started going around last night, and it's pretty wild, but the timing is also interesting, and I'll explain why. Word on the street is that the CIA raided. That was the word that was originally used. Then they dialed it back to seized. The CIA raided DNI Tulsi Gabbard's office to seize documents regarding and including covering MK Ultra and the JFK assassination.
Interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
now,
wild.
The MK Ultra stuff is really wild because I wasn't under the impression that they were declassifying the MK Ultra stuff. The MK Ultra stuff was a mind control program ran by the government in the 60s and 70s where they would take unwitting individuals and try and disassociate themselves from their personality to do things that they wouldn't normally do. Now, a lot of people looked at some of the assassination attempts, Sirhan, RFK, and said that guy was a victim of MK Ultra. They would drug him with LSD. They would electroshock him. They would torture these people essentially so that way they would disassociate from who they were, and then you would program them to do other things. I mean, that's the way the internet describes it. Maybe there was a bit more, I don't know, delicacy to the operation, but the end result was mind control. Right? Is that fair to say? That's what everybody. I mean, I think that's well documented, and everybody understands that that's what MK Ultra is.
Yeah.
You decide how you do it. If somebody was going to mind control me, I'd opt in for the LSD method. I would. It sounds a lot better than the electroshock method.
Just a little bit.
You know, I don't think any of these are fun. But this is the news, and it comes from Anna Paulina Luna, and it also comes from the CIA whistleblower yesterday who was talking about the origins of COVID, and he testified, it is now on the congressional record, that this happened. Jesse Waters broke into his programming to cover it last night.
Tulsi Gabbard's office. Agents hauled out dozens of boxes, files on the JFK assassination and MK Ultra, the CIA mind control operation, which she was in the process of declassifying. Today's whistleblower said it during his deposition, and Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna confirmed it moments ago.
The reason why this is troubling is, A, there was an executive order that the president had directed the full declassification of JFK, but then also to the MK Ultra files. The CIA famously has said that, you know, all documents were released and other documents had been destroyed. So these are allegedly those documents that apparently never existed.
Can the CIA overrule the president?
No, I mean, they shouldn't be able to at all. Who are you answering to? And ODNI, Tulsi Gabbard, the DNI Gabbard, she's over the CIA. Like, it's actually a crazy story. Now, to be fair, Anna Paulina Luna did say the word raid on News Nation, but she came back and clarified on X saying, and I quote, clarification, took documents that ODNI has jurisdiction over. Also, this did not happen today and was not a raid. However, it did take place, and we are just being made aware of it based on reporting, etc. This is a mind-blowing story. It really is. So the CIA is covering up for the CIA? Is that what's happening here? I mean, and what are you trying to hide? I mean, there's been conspiracy theories for years that the CIA was dabbling in the assassination of JFK, I think, to say the least. I mean, there's been a theory about everything when it comes to JFK. But the CIA absolutely did run the MK Ultra program, and now the CIA is taking those documents from Tulsi Gabbard. Crazy. Now, again, I say the timing of this is very interesting because do you remember we played this, 2 days ago? John Brennan was on MS Now. We don't say MSNBC because we don't dead name on the Chris Hand Show. He's on MS Now. And he said that there were people inside the intel agencies. John Brennan, the former CIA director under Hussein Obama, said that there were people inside the intel agencies that are actively working against President Trump. Do you remember this?
Trump says these people are dirty. Todd Blanche says we're lucky to have Trump involved in this. Kash Patel says I have a bat phone into the Oval Office. He has succeeded largely in turning DOJ and the FBI into political arms of his political operation. What still exists in the system to slow that down?
Well, I think, as Liz mentioned, there's still a legion of professionals in the law enforcement environment, the Department of Justice, as well as the CIA and other places, the ones who are refusing to follow politically motivated prosecutions, those who are refusing to support any type of political activities on the part of the Trump administration that are inconsistent with the authorities, the responsibilities of the intelligence community, law enforcement community, and Department of Justice. So we have to rely on these individuals to stand up to their professional responsibilities and also to the courts, to the judges, to those judges who in fact took an oath of allegiance to the law, not to a political party, not to a person. And, I'd like to think that there are still some members of Congress. Certainly, I'm looking for the Republicans who at one point had spoken out against Donald Trump and had spoken in support of the law, but they seem to have just totally caved. And I think, as has been said, what has happened to our institutions is really going to have longstanding damage.
I mean, that's probably the only part that I completely agree with. What has been done to our institutions is going to have longstanding damage. But that is John Brennan, the former CIA director under Barack Obama, saying that there is absolutely a deep state, a legion of individuals that are working behind the scenes to resist the Donald Trump administration. And then we get news that CIA officials, the same intel agency that John Brennan once was over control of, are going into DNI Gabbard's office and taking documents on the JFK assassination and MK Ultra. It's crazy, right? Like, is that just me? Am I the only one that thinks that that's crazy? The timing of this is insane. It's insane. Again, this really broke yesterday. while we had a CIA COVID whistleblower talking about the origins of COVID at a hearing where no Democrat showed up to. And he was telling everyone, listen, it came from that Wuhan lab. It was funded by our guy Fauci. They knew about it. The CIA was well aware of what was happening, and they were covering up the probe. They were monitoring the investigators of the probe into the COVID-19 origins cover-up. This was what the whistleblower said yesterday in regards to just that. And when he dropped that bombshell on the record that they are taking those documents from Tulsi Gabbard's office. Listen to this.
The CIA refused to provide information necessary to understand why analytical standards at the CIA were violated. The CIA illegally monitored the computer and phone usage of DIG personnel, their investigations, and contact with whistleblowers. These were Americans being spied upon illegally while executing duties directed by the president and under the authority of the Director of National Intelligence. One CIA contractor assisting with the DIG's investigation into the events that transpired between 2022 and 2023 was fired by the CIA one day after meeting with the DIG. When the DIG ceased operations, the CIA also took back 40 boxes of JFK files and MK Ultra files being processed for declassification by DNI Gabbard.
40 boxes of files. This should be a massive news story, and it should be covered everywhere. The American people deserve transparency, and we were promised this under President Trump, and I hope that the Trump administration gets to the bottom of this immediately. And I would love to hear from DNI Gabbard on what she thinks and what exactly transpired as they went into her office and seized those documents. Under what authority do they have to take those documents? I'm of the opinion that the CIA officials and the agents involved in this raid on Tulsi Gabbard's office, the seizing of JFK and MK Ultra files, they should be fired. From the people that carried it out to every single guy or gal that signed off on it, they need to be immediately fired and then prosecuted because this is outrageous and unacceptable. Who is, and I think this begs the question, who is running our intelligence agencies? Is the President of the United States in charge? Do they answer to anyone? Because this kind of news makes you think that, no, they just don't answer to anybody. And I'm sure that this news story is going to be swept under the rug faster than the Las Vegas shooting. Just immediately memory hold. Get ready for that. People need to stay up on this. The CIA whistleblower during that same testimony also revealed that the CIA is still blocking full declassification of COVID documents, that Fauci inserted proxies into the National Intelligence Council to push the proximal origins propaganda paper claiming natural origin, that the CIA never addressed Fauci's glaring Wuhan lab conflict of interests, and that Fauci had tremendous influence, over the National Intelligence Council's scientific consensus that suddenly flip-flopped from lab origin to natural spillover. How much was the CIA involved in cooking up the germ that later became known as COVID-19? I think that's a question we all want answered and that we all deserve answers to. And who do they answer to? Like, it is a crazy story. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure that there's a lot more to this. I don't know if we're ever going to get more out of this story, but it's something that you should be well aware of. It's 10:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, if I was DNI Gabbard and I needed to keep some documents on MK Ultra or the JFK assassination safe, I'd store them in a safe or a vault from Aaron Parker at Parker Safes and Vaults. Hey, it's Chris Hand here for my friend at Parker Safes and Vaults. Aaron Parker, he's awesome. You've heard me talk about these guys. They're our veteran-owned, family-run safe and vault door business right here in Middle Tennessee. Let's be honest, a lot of us want a safe. A lot of us need a safe, but we've been putting it off because we have to figure out which one to get. where to buy it, where to put it, how to get it installed. Well, we can answer all of these questions for you really, really fast. For starters, which one? Go to Aaron Parker's YouTube page. Search Parker Safes on YouTube, and you'll find a detailed video review of every safe that they have in stock. When you find the one that you think is right for you, talk to Aaron about it because he'll make sure that it's the best one for your needs and your budget. Him and his sons will offer advice on the best place to put it, deliver it, and carefully install it themselves discreetly and professionally. They got some great deals going on right now. Plenty of safes in stock and ready to go. Not big box store cabinets that are built for marketing that can be tipped over and pried open by a teenager. No, these are real safes from American Security, Rhino, Liberty, Heyman, and more. Don't put it off any longer. Get yourself a safe. 931-842-6445. That's Aaron's number. He answers the phone personally. 931-842-6445. It's Parker Safes and Vaults. And when you buy a safe, mention the Chris Hand Show and you'll get a free pistol safe while supplies last. ParkerSafes.com.
卵の価格は下がっている。ダウ平均は5万ポイントを超えている。こんな負け犬どもの言うことを聞くな。アメリカは復活した。
We've all been hearing about the hantavirus. Well, should we be concerned about it? There's also a new retail sales report out there and a tragedy in Madison involving a 6-year-old child. All that's coming up at the bottom of the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Jay Harper in the newsroom, 1026 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. We've been trying to talk Mason into putting, he's growing a great fro. But we said for the 4th of July, to celebrate America, we should put half of it in cornrows. You know who's in on that? Brian Wilson's wife. Cabana wife texted me.
Oh, really?
She said, I vote yes for Mason's hair. 1012 texted in. They have another idea. How about you do cornrows in the front, a fro in the back, and we call it a frolet?
I feel like because don't the braids go down the back of the head though?
Yeah, I think that's what makes it more fun.
So just stop halfway through my head?
Yeah, and then we could you could come to the side.
Kind of fans out.
There's a lot of people that are telling you just stay true to yourself and keep the afro.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. July 4th.
July 4th is going to be here before we know it.
Yeah.
You've heard of locks for Trump. What about fro for freedom?
Fro for Freedom 250.
Yeah, well, we're halfway to 500, so you should only have half of it in a fro and half of it in braids.
True.
With the modern advances in science, you'll be here for the 500th anniversary as well.
I could do full cornrow.
And then we'll do full cornrows for 500.
It'll be fun.
People be texting about it.
People be texting.
Eddie on the road wanted to weigh in on that. What's up, Eddie?
Chris, I've been listening to you since you come to Nashville. I'm a big fan. Actually, my favorite host currently.
Let's go. Thanks, Eddie. I appreciate you, man.
I heard a little Democrat ooze out in you a while ago.
What?
You was talking about Matt Murphy. I've heard you talk about him stealing a vote or a like on his YouTube and all. But when you said you was doing him a favor, saving him time.
I am. I'm helping.
Well, that's a little Democrat oozing out in you, Chris, now, when you go stealing a man's vote.
I'll tell you what. I'm not stealing anything. I know Matt Murphy so well. I know which way he would vote. And
that sounds like a Democrat to me.
I'll tell you what, Eddie, myself and Matt Murphy, we will have a vigorous debate about this on the Mostly Peaceful podcast this weekend. We're recording that today. It'll air on Saturday morning on YouTube, and I guarantee you we will have a deep discussion about whether or not this was the appropriate thing to do. And I'll tell you what, Eddie, I think he's going to be on my side on this one.
Well, maybe so, but you should let a man do his own vote now.
All right, I hear you, Eddie. I appreciate you calling in. Shout out to Eddie. RD in Columbia wants to talk about Marco Rubio. What's up, RD?
Hey, thank you, Chris. Listen, for my call, allow me to say you recently used a great, unique analogy that I loved when you stated that the Democrats thinking they're dunking the ball while we continue to block it at the rim. Well, I'm going to tell you what, as proves the state of you just too much jelly for one biscuit, man. That's great. It was great. Listen, I called in a couple of weeks ago praising Rubio as our Secretary of State, and you asked me at that time, would I prefer to have keep Rubio on as Secretary of State or the 28 ticket? And at that moment, I said, well, I need to think about that. You then directed, well, ponder it and call me back with your answer.
Yes, sir.
Well, outside of 30 seconds after hanging up, I had my answer, which is, of course, I would rather have Mr. Rubio on the 28 Vance Rubio 28 ticket. Reason being, following President Trump's term going forward, I think that would give us a good shot at 16 consecutive years of a Republican president. And my friend, at age 76, that would probably mean I would never again have to agonize over having a liberal president.
Listen, RD, listen, with the modern advances in science, as I just mentioned before, I mean, there's no telling how old you could live. You could be agonizing over this kind of stuff for another 100, 200 years, my friend.
Well, that's exciting to hear.
Hey, I appreciate the call. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is 31 minutes past 10 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. Hang on, we'll get you a weather forecast here momentarily. The one American who tested positive for the hantavirus, he's been cleared to move out of isolation in Omaha, Nebraska, after testing negative. Jake Rosemarin has been documenting the quarantine process. ABC's Victor Akindo, he's in Omaha.
Jake Rosemarin documenting the quarantine process.
Here's my thermometer. I'll turn it on. I have to put on my mask so I can show the nurses that my temperature is all good. Hi. No symptoms, 98.6.
The CDC saying more than 100 officials are working around the clock on this outbreak, with nearly a dozen states monitoring at least 18 people.
We all know that food and energy costs are at just historic highs. ABC's Jim Ryan, though, says that people are still spending.
The Census Bureau's advance estimate of retail sales for April was up 0.5% from March and nearly 5% above the figure from April of last year. It's the third month in a row that retail sales have risen, and comes despite surveys finding that consumers are frustrated with price spikes resulting from the war with Iran.
Back here in Middle Tennessee, Metro Police are investigating the death of a 6-year-old child who fell several stories from an apartment balcony in Madison. Officers responded to the incident at about 8:40 p.m. on Tuesday at 200 Webster Apartments. Police say the person who called emergency services found the child. The child, Kingston McWilliams, was found outside on the ground after the child fell approximately 81 feet from the 8th floor. McWilliams was taken to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, where the little boy died. According to Metro, the child's mother told investigators she was in another room. When she came to the living room, she did not see her son. She was looking for them in the apartment and on the 8th floor hallway. The boy was eventually found on the ground below their unit. Youth Services detectives are still working to determine the circumstances leading up to the incident, which is believed to, at this point, be accidental. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And if your home is not as comfortable as it needs to be right now, well, Busy Bee, they're the guys to call, because right now they have some really strong offers going on for you. You can get some special financing on a new HVAC system with up to 12 months, no payments, no interest. Approval varies by credit, but it will give you some breathing room. And here's the bonus. If you install a high-efficiency system, we're talking 17 SEER or higher, they'll throw in a free Yeti Tundra 45 cooler for free just in time for beach and pool season. Not a bad deal. Now, if you're more focused on air quality, well, you got to check out the Healthy Hive package, which is unbelievable. It includes an electronic air cleaner, a whole home UV system. Normally, this is going to run you $2,800, but today you can get it installed right now for $22.99. And they'll even handle the TVA rebates for you, so you're saving more money on top of the great deals, and you don't have to file any of the paperwork. We're talking up to $800 back on mini splits, $500 to $800 on heat pumps, even $50 back on an AC tune-up. That's a great deal. And if you've got some plumbing issues, they got deals there too. $300 off whole home drain repipes, $500 off water distribution repipes. So whether it's heating, cooling, or plumbing, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, they're the company to call. They got you covered. 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, or find them online, busybeehvac.com. 1038 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Mason, support is absolutely surging for you to do the fro half in cornrows for the 4th of July.
Oh, yeah?
We're going to do it. We're going to do it. The poll, whatever, the poll doesn't matter.
The poll you asked for?
Yeah, no, nobody cares about that. It's 55% to 45%. 55% leading right now. Leave the fro alone. But what we're really looking at is the walk-up numbers, okay? And the walk-up numbers on the text line are just unbelievable. I mean, overwhelming support for you to put it in half cornrows.
What's dictating that?
Anecdotal evidence. I'm
Give me
just
some
reading.
comments.
5637 texted in. He said, voting yes for July Froth, which is so good. It's so good. I'll give him credit for that today, but moving forward, that's now mine. And I'm taking that. July Froth.
I'll count that as 2 votes.
So on the 3rd, Mason will get half of his hair in cornrows to celebrate America and the freedom to do crazy things.
America.
That's what we're going to do. We got it. Just text Paul, new suit, as Matt Murphy calls him. Text Paul and say, we need somebody to run the board on the 3rd. Or whatever the last day is before you try and sneak out of your obligations, but half the fro and cornrows.
It's a holiday weekend. Who knows?
1967 said, do the half cornrows down the middle. That'd be cool.
I heard people were saying do cornrows along the side and then fro down the middle.
I like it.
Mohawk.
A frohawk.
Frohawk.
A reverse frohawk. Right?
I think that would be froze on the side.
That's not what you said?
No, I said cornrows on the side, fro down the middle.
That would be sick.
It'd be something.
That'd be sick. Dude, you have the unlimited potential. You're untapped potential right now with the hair.
We'll see what happens.
You can see Mason's glorious fro. Soon to be the best fro in politics. He was jealous about Justin Pearson having the best fro in politics, so he's like, not on my watch.
I wasn't jealous. I was like, you know what? I could put up a contention.
You can see Mason's unbelievable fro on Super Talk TV, YouTube, and Rumble. Hit like and subscribe while you're there. We appreciate you doing so. I got another text here. Hey, Chris, will you please tell whoever does the Good Feet commercial how to pronounce Mount Juliet? I'll work on it. Mason, send that email.
I'll reach out.
Dustin said fro rose. So good.
It's great.
So good. All right, so a lot of the Trump administration is currently in China. I don't know if you knew that. There are big meetings going on in the People's Republic of China.
China.
That's the one. You know who's not in China?
China.
J.D. Vance.
China.
He's not there. He's not in China.
What?
He's not.
China.
He's not. Do you know why? Because they don't want them to both get killed. That's kind of the thing. That's pretty much the reason. At first I was like, oh, is that weird? And then it was like when JD said, it's Secret Service protocol, I was like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. He actually had a big meeting yesterday at the White House to address the fraud task force and deliver an update. And he started with saying why he's not in China.
China.
The president just landed in China a few hours ago. I always, you may know that because of Secret Service protocols that I don't travel outside of the country with the President of the United States. So on days today, I sometimes feel like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. I walk into the White House and it's very quiet and no one's there. And it takes me a second to realize exactly what's going on.
I wish the administration away. Hopefully nobody tries to sneak in. There's still Secret Service there, right? JD's not going to have to fight off the wet bandits, is he?
I sure hope not.
I hope not. If anybody can handle it, it's JD.
Yeah.
Here's the big news. There's a lot of money that is being frozen going to a lot of states that are not cooperating in the fraud. For starters, $1.3 billion in Medicaid funding, federal funding, is officially frozen in regards to Gavin Newsom's People's Republic of California.
We're announcing that the federal government is deferring $1.3 billion in Medicaid reimbursements from the state of California. And the simple reason is because the state of California has not taken fraud very seriously. And because of that, we see a lot of the consequences that I just referenced. And again, let me highlight the fact that this really is two separate victims. So there are California taxpayers and American taxpayers who are being defrauded because California isn't taking its program seriously. But also you have people who've been prescribed medications that they don't even need. Sometimes they've had drugs put into their bodies that they don't need because fraudsters have actually encouraged false prescriptions and false administration of medications. So think about this. You're just a person trying to go see a doctor. You assume that your doctor is doing the right thing, but these fraudulent healthcare providers are getting rich by giving people medications they don't even need. It's a defrauding of the American taxpayer, but it's a violation of the trust that should exist between every American and the people who prescribe the medications. That's one thing that we're targeting.
Good. Good. And I'm here for it. You know, so many people would say, oh, Republicans are going to cut Medicaid and Medicare. The Republicans are going to cut the programs. And it's like, can we get serious about the fraud? And then we wouldn't have to. These programs would be a lot more viable for a lot more time if we didn't have the billions of dollars in fraud in every single state in the country. And it is every single state in the country. Now, some states are more eager to cooperate with the Trump administration than others, but it begs the question, why wouldn't all 50 states want to cooperate? Why wouldn't a Democrat governor want to get the fraud under control as much as a Republican governor? I mean, your guess is as good as mine, and there's plenty of room for speculation, but leave the speculation aside for a second. JD said that he is demanding that all 50 states comply with prosecuting Medicaid fraud, or he's going to defund them. And California is just an exceptional example because he's already freezing their funds. So it's FAFO. And he put every single state in the union on notice yesterday during this press conference. He's got Dr. Oz behind him. And he said, listen, if you're not going to work with us, you're going to find out the hard way. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Fraud. So what are we going to do to fix that? Today, we are sending across 50 Medicaid programs, we are sending letters that will require them to show that they are effectively and aggressively prosecuting Medicaid fraud in their states. And if they do not aggressively prosecute Medicaid fraud, we are going to turn off the money that goes to these anti-fraud units. And I would say a couple things about this. You may think, obviously, this is a Republican administration. We're all proud Republicans up here. You may think that this is purely a red state or blue state issue. That's actually not true. We see Medicaid fraud issues in Ohio, the state that I used to represent in the United States Senate. We also see Medicaid issues, fraud issues in a state like Maryland, which is obviously a very blue state. But both Ohio and Maryland have worked with us to take this issue seriously. They've worked with the guys behind me. They've worked with our entire team to make sure that they take fraud seriously. Again, this does not have to be a red state or a blue state issue. This is just basic good government. However, states like California, states like Hawaii, states like New York have completely not taken the fraud issue seriously in the Medicaid program. And so for those states that refuse to get serious about fraud, we are going to turn off that anti-fraud money. And if we continue to find problems, we can turn off other resources within their state Medicaid programs as well. Our goal here is not to do that. We don't want to turn off any money. What we want to do is ensure that people are taking fraud seriously. We want to protect Medicaid. We want to protect Medicare. But we can't do that if the states that are administering those programs are allowing.
If they're allowing the fraud to go on, nobody's winning here. Now, I understand that there might be some pushback against this. If you turn off the funding, you're going to hurt everyday regular people. But JD, as he went on exposing this fraud, he brought up real life examples where the fraud is already hurting everyday people. So get tough or find out the hard way. And JD brought up this example of a woman who had spent 40 years treating patients and finding out that her Medicare had been turned off. Her Medicare program had been turned off. But it wasn't turned off by the government. It was turned off because fraudsters had stolen her identity.
Just last month, a California psychotherapist, a woman who had spent 40 years treating patients, helping people deal with problems, found out that her Medicare program had been turned off. that she did not have access to the resources that she had been paying into for her entire life. Why? Because a fraudster had stolen her identity and signed her up for health care services that she didn't need, and so she had been turned off of the health care services that she did need. This happens way too much in the United States of America, and it happens because until recently, we did not have a government or an administration that actually took the fraud program and took anti-fraud prevention seriously. So let me just close with one final observation here. First of all, why are we doing this now? Why weren't we doing this 2 years ago?
I mean, that's a good question. Why is this happening now? Why wasn't the Democrat administration doing this? Now, again, we could speculate all we want. We could speculate that some of this money was going to voters, especially in these Somali communities. We could speculate that. But he said the simple answer isn't that we weren't we were speculating and buying off voters. But the simple answer is that we didn't have a president that took this stuff seriously. I don't think we even had a president that could comprehend what he was going to have for lunch, let alone take the fraud seriously.
Just close with one final observation here. First of all, why are we doing this now? Why weren't we doing this 2 years ago? And the simple answer is because we didn't have a president and we didn't have an administration who took fraud seriously. So I want to thank the President of the United States, though I know he's busy in China. All of these efforts, all of these things that we're finding are because we have a president who has told us, take the fraud issue seriously, get to the root of it, and turn off the money when we find out that money is going to fraudsters. So that's exactly what we're doing.
I mean, this is a good thing. And JD went on to take some questions from the reporters that were in attendance. And one of the things that stuck out to me was how much he really does have an American story that is like so many people I know, you know, we know. JD's story growing up is like the new American story. Unfortunately, I mean, it's dark, but it's just rings true for a lot of people. And JD said, listen, I grew up in a family that used these programs. The generosity of Americans is unbelievable. But people have taken advantage of this generosity. And thanks to the Anti-Fraud Task Force, this ends now, says JD Vance.
That for me, and I think for a lot of people who are involved in this effort, this is very personal because I'm not just the Vice President of the United States. I come from a family, and I grew up in a family where we sometimes benefited from these programs. The generosity of the American people is one of the most amazing things about our country. I think all of us, of course, just passed tax day. None of us like paying our taxes, but we do it. And why do we do it? Because we know that it goes to give a bite to a low-income family that can't afford food. We know that it goes to pay the military who keep us safe. We know that it goes to some essential services. But that trust in our government, that trust in our institution, it depends on us taking that trust seriously. How long are people going to pay into programs if they know that that money doesn't go to a low-income kid who needs health care, but that money goes into a fraudster getting rich? This doesn't work, and this doesn't make sense unless we take fraud seriously. So I'm proud to be part of an effort in our government. I'm proud to lead the effort in our government to finally take fraud seriously.
Thank you. I mean, honestly, I think that we all owe him a huge thank you. We're $39 trillion in debt. We're losing hundreds of billions of dollars to fraud every single year. It's about time we have an administration that takes this seriously. Dr. Oz, who was standing behind Jay-Z the whole time. Jay-Z. JD. Jigga. What? It's The Rock. So he's standing behind JD the whole time. And he actually confirmed the stunning amount, the dollar figure of Medicare and Medicaid fraud. And I'm going to bring you that when we get back. Plus, we'll talk about the fraud that's going on in Hawaii. They detailed that as well. We'll cover that when we get back. It's 10:52 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy with Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and this morning we are out and about at my house, my brand new house that I've been talking about on the radio, with Nate from USS. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm excellent. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
We invited Nate out. Now, obviously, when you're a new homeowner, especially when you buy a house that's got a few years on it, you don't know what you're dealing with in terms of foundation. And I know that Nate knows a lot more about what I don't see and what I don't know about than I do. So bring the experts out and get them to check out your house. Hey guys, Matt Murphy again with Nate with USS, and Nate has just wrapped up kind of a look at the house. And Nate, what'd you find?
Well, your house is in pretty good shape for the age of it. I had to look pretty hard to find.
Okay.
Your house being on a slope like it is here, I think we could do a lot of good by trying to terminate your downspouts a little
Okay.
further from the house there.
Okay.
Roof water is the killer of foundations, and so if we can just get it to a positive grade to drain away from your house, I think that's real cheap insurance.
You want to kind of get it out and downhill.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
So
the idea.
make sure that it doesn't come right back down towards the foundation walls, causing issues, settlement or leakage.
Now, if folks are watching this video and they are like, we need to get Nate out to the house to do a look. I mean, it took, I watched you do it. It's, what, 30, 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
To do a comprehensive kind of an examination around the house. And they just give you a call and schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call our main phone number, or you can call you or reach USSTN.com and schedule right through the website there. Our girls in the call center will get back to you just about immediately, as long as it's during business hours. So
this just makes a lot of sense, folks, for you guys to do an examination of your house like we've done, to check it out. I'm going to get those gutters done with Nate and his team at USS, and then we'll do a video and let you know how those look at the end of all of this. So thank you, guys.
Hey, that'd be great.
We appreciate you, brother.
Matt, we appreciate you.
President Xi giving President Trump a warning there while they're meeting there in China. We'll tell you about that coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. We were talking about J.D. Vance, Jay-Z Vance, if you're keeping score at home. It's The Rock. And one of our texters texted in, and he said, we beat Medicare. Remember? 9009. I do.
What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death.
It's even worse when I go back and watch it. You know what I'm going to do this weekend?
Wow.
I'm going to rewatch that debate for S's and giggles because it's that good. So J.D. Vance was doing the fraud press conference yesterday. He wasn't allowed to go to China because of the Secret Service. He's Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. But Dr. Oz and the Trump administration confirmed that there is at least $100 billion of Medicare and Medicaid fraud out there.
As Andrew pointed out, as little as a Medicare beneficiary number, which is basically a credit card to defraud this system. Unfortunately, that results in about $100 billion of estimated theft just from Medicare and Medicaid. That, just to put it in the context of affordability, which is a very important subtext of this discussion, we would be able to double the life expectancy of the Medicare Trust Fund if we could deal with the fraud issues just in Medicare.
And it looks like they're dealing with it. They're working. The anti-fraud task force is on it. What we need to see now is this funding cut off and some silver bracelets being distributed to the fraudsters. It's 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Got some breaking news here from Fox News. U.S. Border Patrol Chief Mike Banks telling Fox News he is resigning effective immediately. It's just time, Banks told Fox News' Bill Malugan. I feel like I've got the ship back on course from the least secure, disastrous, chaotic border to the most secure border this country has ever seen. Time to pass the reins. 37 years. It's time to enjoy the family and life. Meanwhile, a new warning from President Xi Jinping during talks with President Trump in Beijing. ABC's chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce traveling with the president.
In their over 2-hour meeting, Xi delivering a stark warning to Trump about Taiwan, which Beijing claims is its own territory. According to China's state media, Xi telling Trump if the issue is handled poorly, the two countries will collide or even clash. Trump tight-lipped.
How are your talks, sir?
It's great.
Did you talk about Taiwan?
Great place. Incredible. China's beautiful.
Trump hoped to use their sit-down to seal deals on trade and technology, bringing along with him over a dozen American business leaders.
Now, the one American who tested positive for the Honda virus has been cleared to move out of isolation in Omaha, Nebraska after testing negative. Jake Rosemarin has been documenting the quarantine process. ABC's Victor Akendo is in Omaha.
Jake Rosemarin documenting the quarantine process.
Here's my thermometer. Turn it on. I have to put on my mask so I can show the nurses that my temperature is all good. Hi. No symptoms, 98.6.
The CDC saying more than 100 officials are working around the clock on this outbreak, with nearly a dozen states monitoring at least 18 people.
Well, they make artificial intelligence possible, but they also gobble up vast amounts of electricity and water. ABC's Jim Ryan says data centers also have an image problem.
For the first time, Gallup has surveyed Americans on the topic, finding that 7 in 10 would oppose the construction of an AI data center in their area. Less than a quarter would support it. The companies behind the centers have seen the surveys, and they're pushing back.
We searched for new opportunities, and we welcome Meta, which opened a data center in our town.
Analytics firm Ad Impact says Meta alone has spent $6 million this year on TV advertising meant to woo communities and policymakers. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. What's up, everybody? We're back live on the YouTube stream. I don't know why, but I really missed how good the Trump-Biden debate was, and that clip, it brought it back. Did it bring you back to a worse time? If you feel like things are bad now, remember how bad they were.
What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America.
What?
And what's happening?
Oh.
They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers.
Either one.
They'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our health care system,
good.
making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look.
Remember the death rattle?
We finally beat Medicare.
You did.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death.
It's just so good on so many levels. I did have some more fraud stuff that I didn't get to on air. So Hawaii, this is from Dr. Oz. Hawaii is one of the worst fraud states in the entire country, and they have some numbers here. Dr. Oz said that the Trump administration has officially spent at 800 hospice providers in California, charged $1.4 billion in fraud. But in Hawaii, hold on, I know you're giving me the finger. Hold on. All right, we'll do it on the other side. Mason's panicking. I'll catch you guys on the radio side. It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can listen on the apps. You can listen on iHeartRadio, TuneIn. You can listen on the FM dial. You can also listen on YouTube or Rumble. You can watch us there. During the commercial break, we were on YouTube and Rumble Live, and we were laughing about the Biden-Trump debate, which is just, it takes me back. It takes me back to a worse time. A simpler time, but a worse time.
And Joan Shingang, I'm going to pronounce it right, Shanga Kawawa.
Yep. Do you remember that?
How could you forget?
So, all right. So here's the thing. I wasn't even trying to get lost. I wasn't trying to get lost in the Biden stuff, but it's hard not to. I got lost like he did when he gets on stage with one set of stairs, and then he would get lost on his way off. But what I really wanted to do during the commercial break was I wanted to play one more fraud clip from the press conference yesterday. And I didn't get to it. And then Mason started giving me the windmill of doom, which is like, dude, you got to wrap it up because we got to get back on the radio. And I accidentally said, Mason's giving me the finger. This is what I meant. He was giving me the windmill finger.
Just a windmill.
And it gets like really frantic.
I
when
was
we're like
not
way
frantic
too.
this time.
You were pretty frantic.
It was a little frantic.
Oh, okay. Before we get to the Hawaii thing, Ken, did you hear what Mason's going to do for the 4th of July?
No. Allegedly.
It's July Froth.
Allegedly.
He's going to grow his fro out until the 4th of July for freedom, and then we're going to put half of it in cornrows.
Yeah, baby.
Doesn't that sound sick?
Yes, sir.
We got a vote from Ken Weaver. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, there's a YouTube poll up right now, Ken, if you weren't aware, and people are 50-50 on it right now.
It's surging. The walk-up vote is unbeatable.
Dude, your hair is rocking.
Wouldn't it be sick to have half of it in cornrows? So we'll do it on the air.
Wait, half of it in
Just
cornrows?
half,
Yeah,
Ken.
Chris only wants to do half of it, not even a full commitment.
No, dude, I got to say leave the fro.
Ken.
It's all the way or no,
Your
man.
ballot was already cast. I'm putting my foot down. The
He
ballot
hadn't turned in his ballot.
No. Rewind the tape. We got a whoo.
I mean, there's no in between with Brother Hand. It either is or it isn't.
It's full send or no.
He's taken over nincompoops, and now he's taken over this.
Nope.
And we're gonna do it on the air. We've already confirmed that we're gonna have somebody filling in for Mason because I don't want him having to mess up the cornrows, trying to answer phones and do the camera switcher and all the board stuff.
You never know.
Well,
I can
yeah,
multitask.
that could get hectic.
I mean, how patriotic are you gonna look? So anyway, I wanted to play one more fraud clip from the JD press conference yesterday. He talked about the betrayal that's happening in Hawaii, much like the betrayal you just saw with Ken Weaver trying to change his vote after he cast his ballot. I mean, you decide which was worse. But this is JD on Hawaii Medicaid fraud.
Let me highlight this with just a couple of separate statistics. So, The Hawaii Medicaid the Hawaii Medicaid program has received billions and billions of dollars from the federal taxpayers. And of course, Hawaii taxpayers have paid in a lot of money into this program over the last years as well. Guess how many convictions or indictments has Hawaii had over the last few years in its Medicaid fraud program? The answer is 0. Not a single indictment, not a single conviction, because the administrators of the Hawaii program just don't take it seriously. They don't think that fraud is a big enough problem. They don't care about protecting resources. They don't care about protecting that Medicaid program. So what does that mean? That means that if you're committing fraud in Medicaid in Hawaii, at least up until now, hopefully now they're going to take it seriously, you have had effectively free reign from the government of Hawaii to commit as much fraud as you want. That is a complete disgrace.
He's absolutely right. It is mind-numbing. It is stunning. But this is what we get. Luckily, we have the anti-fraud task force. They're looking into it, and we give them all the credit in the world for the work that they're doing. Again, all I want to see now is silver bracelets start getting handed out, and this will be full circle. And once we stop the fraud, these programs are going to be way more viable for many, many years. We're going to save a lot of money as a country. And when we're $39 trillion in debt, every dollar saved is a dollar earned. Everybody knows that. Elsewhere, redistricting wars still continuing. And you know that the Democrats are losing when they just keep going to the well to scream racism, racism, racism. And they did that again yesterday. Eric Doherty on X is one of my favorite follows. He described this from Hakeem Jeffries as a schizophrenic meltdown because he was chasing ghosts of the Confederacy. My Confederacy. This is how Hakeem Jeffries is dealing with the latest losses that they've been dealt on redistricting in Tennessee, Alabama. Georgia is going to be running a special session for redistricting, which we'll talk about in a second. But Hakeem Jeffries absolutely beside himself, so he had to bring up my racism.
Because we know this unprecedented assault on black political representation, the likes of which we have not seen since the Jim Crow era, the ghost of the Confederacy has afflicted the United States Supreme Court majority and is invading and haunting the nation right now, and we take that seriously.
Are the ghosts in the room with you right now?
And we know it's going to continue, which is why Democrats are committed to launching a decisive and overwhelming response in advance of the 2028 election to ensure that it's the American people who are the ones who get to decide who's in the majority in the House, who's in the majority in the Senate, and ultimately in 2028, who gets elected as the next president of the United States of America.
Oh, so now the Democrats are going to do the exact same thing that they've been doing and that the Republicans did to fight back, because when they do it, it's democracy. When we do it, it's cheating. Let's set the record straight here just for a second, though, as he's talking about the ghosts of my Confederacy. Who freed the slaves? That's right. It was the Republicans. Republicans passed the 13th Amendment ending slavery. Republicans passed the 14th Amendment granting birthright citizenship for slaves. And Republicans passed the 15th Amendment, which allowed black men to vote in this nation. Weird. Also, I don't know if you know this, but the first 23 elected black men to Congress were Republicans. Weird. Democrats were actually the party of the Confederacy. Democrats were the party of Jim Crow. Democrats were the party of segregation. And Democrats were the party of the KKK. And you could actually make the argument that the Democrats are still the party of the KKK because, as we found out with the SPLC just a few weeks back, they're funding the KKK. So, are the ghosts of the Confederacy in the room with you right now, Hakeem? Is that what we're doing? I'm doing my show prep last night. There was a big hearing yesterday on Sharia law, which was really good. We don't have enough time to get through all of it. But one thing stood out to me, and I think it applies here. Representative Wesley Hunt. I don't know if you know this. He's black. I found out for the first time yesterday. I was stunned. I said, oh, what? How could a black man represent a white man? I thought that stuff was incompatible, and it feels like that when you listen to these Democrat talking points. But, Steve Cohen, totally fine. But Wesley Hunt pushed back on what he's calling reinvigorated talk of Jim Crow. And he was also defending the idea that America is a Christian nation. But I think that this is important for everyone to hear, and Democrats as well. Wesley Hunt was on an absolute rant of a lifetime. And you can absolutely tell that this kind of talk from the Democrat Party about Jim Crow, about racism, it is infuriating to him. And he lets everybody know exactly why.
I'm seeing a lot of talk from my colleagues on the left, too, as we shift toward this reinvigorated talk about Jim Crow and the past of this country. And as someone who is a direct descendant of a slave, as someone whose great-great-grandfather was born on a plantation, I can assure you slavery is over. Jim Crow is dead. When I go anywhere, I don't see any white-only signs. I don't, I promise you. I am a black man that represents a white majority district in Texas. The great-great-grandson of a man born on a plantation stands before you today as a proud conservative Republican from Texas, as a believer and follower in Christ, and as a believer in what this country can be if we allow equality for not just Muslim Americans, not just Buddhist Americans, but also Christian Americans like yourself. God bless you, young man. You give me a lot of hope for the future of this country. Thank you for having the courage to yield back the remainder of my time.
Wesley Hunt, man, absolute goosebumps. My great-grandfather was a slave. I'm in the United States Congress. And he's absolutely right. When's the last time you saw a whites-only sign? When's the last time you saw a colored-only sign? We don't have them anymore. And all this talk of Jim Crow and all of this talk of racism is just bovine scatology, and everybody knows it. Bravo to Wesley Hunt for stepping up. Wesley Hunt is a future star in the Republican Party because he doesn't deal with the BS. Miss him with that. He's not gonna listen to your emotional talking points, your radical left rhetoric, because he is proof that you can make it no matter what the color of your skin is. It's about ideas. It's about values. I mean, I think you could point at the other aisle and you could say there's proof over there too. Yet they always treat themselves as victims. Like if I look at Ilhan Omar, I'm like, man, that's the proof of the American dream. Is it not? This woman comes from Somalia as a refugee. She's 14? She rises to the ranks of congresswoman in the United States from a country where she wouldn't have even had a voice. Like it's an incredible story at its core. And it's like the American story at its core. But she doesn't look at it that way. She just tells us that America's awful and America's evil and America's racist. And it's like, could you have done this anywhere else, madam? Shouldn't you be kissing the ground that you walk on and be thanking whatever God you pray to that you aren't still in Somalia? And spoiler alert, maybe she should be going back to Somalia. Maybe they do need to investigate her a bit harder at the federal level on the fraud that's been happening in Minnesota. Maybe they do need to look into her marriage to her brother a bit more seriously than they ever have before. Maybe she does deserve to be denaturalized and deported, as many members of Congress have said. Maybe that's what she's owed. Maybe that's what she deserves. Wesley Hunt, on the other hand, he was running for senator in Texas against John Cornyn and John Paxton. He didn't necessarily make the cut. He didn't have the name recognition that either of those individuals did in the state of Texas, and he kind of fell off. But if he keeps doing stuff like this, his star is absolutely rising in the Republican Party, and I think that he's going to be a mainstay for a long time. And you know what? As conservatives, we're going to be better off for it because the guy is absolutely based. Just one more time, in case you weren't paying attention, Wesley Hunt with an all-time rant.
I'm seeing a lot of talk from my colleagues on the left, too, as we shift toward this reinvigorated talk about Jim Crow and the past of this country. And as someone who is a direct descendant of a slave, as someone whose great-great-grandfather was born on a plantation, I can assure you slavery is over. Jim Crow is dead. When I go anywhere, I don't see any white-only signs. I don't, I promise you. I am a black man that represents a white majority district in Texas. The great-great-grandson of a man born on a plantation stands before you today as a proud conservative Republican from Texas, as a believer and follower in Christ, and as a believer in what this country can be if we allow equality for not just Muslim Americans, not just Buddhist Americans, but also Christian Americans like yourself. God bless you, young man. You give me a lot of hope for the future of this country. Thank you for having the courage to yield back the remainder of my time.
Again, Wesley Hunt gives me a lot of hope for the future of the country. I don't care about the color of his skin at all. I care about his character, his values, how based he is. And I don't know, down the road, 20 years, would you vote for Wesley Hunt for president? I sure as hell would. I wouldn't have an issue with that. Let us know what you think on the text line, 615-737-9986, or jump in the chat on YouTube. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like while you're there. It's 11:20. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Now with Venezuela, and we just so you understand, the people of Venezuela, they say if I ran for president of Venezuela, I'm polling higher than anybody has ever polled in Venezuela. So after I'm finished with this, I can go to Venezuela. I will quickly learn Spanish. It won't take too long. I'm good at language. And I will go to Venezuela. I'm going to run for president.
Well, the U.S. Senate has unanimously voted to withhold their own pay during government shutdowns. I'll tell you about that and some more breaking news coming out of our nation's capital at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I have some breaking news, too.
Let's have it, Brother Hand.
0360 texted in.
Yeah?
Apparently, allegedly, Matt Murphy is his lawn guy, is 0360. His name's Justin. He said that he snitched on me for stealing his vote for the Fro of July. To be fair, I kind of snitched on myself, Justin. You wouldn't have known had I not been open about it.
True.
And I didn't look at his stealing his vote. I just casted a ballot that was pre-approved in my mind. So I think that's fair.
In your mind, though.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. A lot of people are saying that we should, you got to dye the hair red, white, and blue. But we should do it alternating cornrows. Because I think you got a dome. You got a dome on you. And I think that we could at least get 3.
Oh, for sure.
What if we did like a star design on the other side?
I was about to say, you're going to need to throw in stars there somewhere. Because at some point, it'll look like the France flag.
If we get a talented enough, it'll look like some toothpaste. If we get a talented enough hair braider, we could braid in a star.
True.
Oof.
Braid it in the shape of a star or add like a star to it?
we would do the stars.
Be interesting.
You said your dad texted you as well?
Yeah, my dad texted me and was like, why is Chris obsessed with your hair right now? And I was like, Chris finds hyperfixations for the show.
I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious.
It just happens.
It happens organically, and it's going to look so cool.
Organically?
It's going to be cool. Mr. Fleming, Mr. Fleming, imagine the photos that you're going to have from your 4th of July barbecue.
Ooh.
It's going to be sick. You're finally going to have a cholo out there. Tube socks up to the knees, Dickie shorts. It's going to be awesome.
Shaving my head tomorrow.
It's going to be so good.
Oh, whoops, I dropped the razor.
Oops. AJ in Knoxville, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
What do you got?
I'm trying not to laugh right now. Anyway, if you do the cornrows, it does have to be on each side and have the mohawk fro in the middle.
Okay.
That would be awesome.
That's peak. That's peak hairstyles in 2026.
That would be awesome. You'd be able to do real good on the red, white, blue that way.
Yeah, you would. You would. AJ, I love it, man.
Have a great day.
You too, brother. I appreciate it. So yeah, dude. Everybody's in on this. The walk-up vote has been tremendous on the text line. I'm just letting you know.
It's a loud minority.
It is completely overwhelmed the YouTube poll, which is not in favor of you getting half cornrows, half afro. What's happening?
Just saying, if they go like, subscribe, and vote on the YouTube poll, it could happen.
2727 said, Mason, grow the fro and embrace the row.
That's good. That's good.
8438 said, the higher the socks, the downer the fool. You down, fool? I'm down. I'm down. All right, yeah. A lot of people do like the idea of cornrows on the side, afro in the middle. People don't think it'd be like it is, but it do.
And a power fist.
Yes.
The back.
We'll get you one of them old school Africa Bambaataa chains.
Absolutely.
Oh, I mean, we could go I think the more natural route for you is to lean into the cholo vibes.
Yes, sir.
But we could absolutely go the other direction and go full Justin Pearson, like just real black power for.
I feel like that's crossing a line.
What?
That might be pushing it quite a bit.
Are we not here to push envelopes?
You'll be all right, dude, because you don't act a fool.
That's true.
True.
Mason's also 7 foot tall. I don't think anybody would give you any grief.
No, sir.
I'm also not going to shove an officer that's trying to protect people.
Dude, that story's crazy.
Nuts.
So Siegel High School in Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
2 kids started fighting SRO officers. So one of them started punching an SRO officer in the face and was taken, right? He was taken into custody. Is that how the story goes? And then another guy got wind of it and then barged in and started punching him.
Yeah, wild.
Talk about an advertisement for homeschooling.
For real.
If there are kids at the high school that are willing to do that to an SRO officer, what are they willing to do to your child?
I'm just saying, when I was zoned for a certain school, I believe it was McGavick, there was alleged stabbings that happened at the school.
Allegedly.
We moved away.
Yeah, dude.
Logical reasons.
I mean, I don't understand. I say I don't understand. I do understand to a certain extent. There's a lot of people out there that are just working hard, and there's no other real option. But choose your hard, man. Homeschooling, especially high school kids. I think homeschooling is way easier because you just kind of like set it and forget it, man. You just tell them what they got to do, and then they go do it. And then you just gin them up. Be like, you can get this done in 4 days and have a 3-day weekend.
True.
It's like, oh, all right, cool.
I'm telling you, man, back in my day, the schools I went to, and I know I'm that old man saying back in my day, those kids would have regretted that right there on the spot.
Yeah.
Oh, with the SRO?
Well, it wouldn't have been an SRO.
Yeah.
No,
It'd have been a coach or a teacher that would have flattened them right out.
And there probably would have been no charges filed at the end of the day because they don't want to ruin these kids' lives for making a dumb choice.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, that's the other side of the thing that's tough for these kids. It's like, you made a huge mistake. Now it's going to be impacting you for the rest of your life. And then it would have been just better to just get laid out and flattened and learn the hard way, and then that's that.
Oh, it would have happened.
Yeah.
I guarantee in the East Texas and the Oklahoma schools I went to back in the 70s and 80s, that just did not happen. Now, it might have happened, in the larger districts. I mean, I didn't grow up in large towns, but that culture just was not like it is today.
No, not at all.
These kids are the ones that act out like this, they know they can get away with it.
And they do.
And they don't care.
Yeah, it's crazy. That story's wild. They've been talking about it all morning in the news with Jay. I'm sure Ken's got some on that as well. And we'll have a lot more for you on the way. Lightning round on deck. It's 11:31 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
In doing business.
The White House saying the two sides discussed.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and for some reason there is audio coming through that I have no idea where it's coming from. So here we go. Breaking news out of our nation's capital. The U.S. Senate has unanimously voted to withhold their own pay during government shutdowns. U.S. Border Patrol Chief Mike Banks has abruptly resigned. Fox News says he told Bill Maloogian, "It's just time. I feel like I got the ship back on course from the least secure, disastrous, chaotic border to the most secure border this country has ever seen. Time to pass the reins. 37 years. It's time to enjoy the family and life." Admiral Brad Cooper, the commander of U.S. Central Command, testifying before the Senate Armed Services Committee today, said Iran's missile, drone, and naval capabilities have been severely damaged by Operation Epic Fury. And the president is in China, where state media reports President Xi Jinping warning President Trump that disagreements over Taiwan, which Beijing claims is part of its territory, could bring the two countries into conflict. And the only American cruise ship passenger to test positive for hantavirus has been cleared to leave isolation. One of Dr. Steve Kornfeld's tests had come back positive after caring for sick passengers on that cruise ship. Now he's been moved out of the biocontainment unit after testing negative for the virus. And that's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
37 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Got a great review here. You ready? You ready for the review I got? 7751. Your show's going down fast. You've talked about cornrows half of your show. Gross. Very little news talk.
Gross.
No talk about the homeless population in Murfreesboro, ICE in Tennessee, deportation, in kindness but the truth. And so tired of hearing about your family eating out of the trophy. No quality anymore. To be fair, we haven't eaten out of the trophy in well over a week.
Rough days.
Wait, I'm not allowed to joke? We're not allowed to have fun? I think we should have fun.
Fun is the only part of worth living.
That's true. Plus, I did a lot of news today, actually.
So much news.
I did Tulsi Gabbard being raided by the CIA, her office, taking MK Ultra documents and JFK assassination documents. I did redistricting with Hakeem Jeffries, brought that amazing audio from Wesley Hunt. I did J.D. Vance and the fraud prosecutions and the anti-fraud task force. I did Donald Trump in China. What do you mean I didn't do any news? I'll tell you what. We'll double down right now. And we'll get to a bunch of news, a ton of news, rapid fire news. I guess you could say it's going to be lightning fast. Because we got the lightning rounds.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
We do it every day at this time. All the stories that we couldn't fill a whole segment with, stories that we didn't have a chance to get to. We like to call it the lightning round. And we do it every day at this time. I'm excited. I got some really good stories here in the lightning round. Let's start with this one. A lot of times when it comes to police, right, the stories only make the news when it's bad, right? It's like, oh my gosh, that guy was overdosing from fentanyl, but a cop put his knee in his back. You know, it's stuff like that. What? That's usually the only time we hear about it. But every now and again, we do get some amazing stories. And this one is out of Chattanooga. Maybe you've heard of it. Maybe not. A little bit to the south of us here. A Chattanooga police officer was an absolute hero. Make no mistake about it. His name is Officer Eli Rogers. And if you're watching us on Super Talk TV, I'm going to have the video of everything that went down. This guy saved a mom and 2 children just because he could, because it was the right thing to do. The house was completely engulfed in flames. Officer Eli Rogers arrives on the scene, finds the front door locked, and just beats that door down, runs inside, gets the mom and the 2 girls out. It all happened in less than a minute from the time he pulled up on the scene to getting to the front door to getting those kids and that mom out. Officer Eli Rogers. If you know him, let him know that we salute him for the work that he's doing. If you're watching us on Super Talk TV, you'll see the flames engulfing the porch. They're absolutely coming out over the house, and it's all captured on the Ring camera. But if you're listening on the radio, you'll hear everything that went down as well. This is Officer Eli Rogers, not wasting any time, not thinking about it, just acting, and we salute him for this. Kicking at the door.
Can you get to the door? Come on, walk it out. Come on. Hey, y'all gotta get out of the house.
He burst through the door. He's in the house. He comes out with 1 kid. He runs into safety. And here comes mom with the other child. Unbelievable. 46 seconds. 46 seconds arriving on the scene, bursting in through the front door, and saving everybody. I mean, now if you're not watching on Super Talk TV, you're not getting the full effect of it, because the porch is completely on fire. As he's beating down the door, I mean, he's getting hit with hot embers falling from the roof that's on fire above him, and he doesn't stop. He just keeps going until he gets through that door and gets the mom and the 2 kids out. Absolute hero, 100%. Again, Officer Eli Rogers, Chattanooga.
Shout out.
I mean, huge shout out. It's actually going viral everywhere. This was making the rounds on the internet last night. And believe it or not, Matt Murphy leaves CNN on in here. I saw CNN cover it.
Oh, heck yeah.
And so, you know what? Props to CNN as well for sharing a story in a positive light about a police officer. These guys, you never know. I mean, listen, 99.9% of the interactions are totally peaceful, totally great. Everybody's happy. But these guys never know when they may or may not be going home. They go out there, they do the job anyway. This guy, he doesn't know if the roof is going to cave in on him the minute he runs through there. You know, he's not a trained firefighter. He's not assessing the structural integrity of the building before he enters. He just goes. And we salute him for that. Again, absolutely amazing. This is Officer Eli Rogers. This happened on May 1st, but it's just been going viral recently. Got another story for you here in the lightning round.
Another one.
You think that they're getting voter regret in New York City yet? You think they have a bit of regret for voting for Mayor Mamdani?
Possibly.
So, remember all the free stuff he promised?
Alleged.
It was alleged free stuff.
Very alleged.
I haven't seen any of those promises follow through yet. Have you?
Mm-mm.
No, but you know what we do have? A ton of fees on all sorts of things. He is surging fees on ambulance rides and EMS on scene, tree pickup, park concessions, taxi permits. I'm sorry. I was under the impression that socialism had never been done the right way before and that he was going to be the guy to get them over the hump. Apparently not. It doesn't look good for Mayor Mamdani.
Mamdani is touting his proposed budget that wipes away the city's $12 billion deficit over the next 2 fiscal years. The mayor says it's a victory for democratic socialism because he did it without burdening working people. Critics point out New York State taxpayers and Governor Kathy Hochul did most of the heavy lifting, covering $8 billion of the city's $12 billion budget hole. The other money comes from general improvements to the city's financial management, $500 million from taxing wealthy vacation homes, and $1.6 billion from pension restructuring.
Spoiler alert, pension restructuring means that you're going to get less in your pension.
Watchdogs say kicks the cost down the road to future taxpayers. Now, according to the New York Post, Mamdani's budget proposal also includes hidden fees and fines like increases to ambulance transportation fees, charging people for EMS arriving at the scene, hiking tree replacement fees, and boosting profits from concessions in parks and taxi permits. The budget does not include Mamdani's main campaign promises to increase income taxes on the rich and corporations.
Weird.
Governor Kathy Hochul says that's a no-go. The mayor still says tax hikes are coming despite President Trump's warning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, the governor says it's a no-go because she sees the writing on the wall. If you tax the rich more, the rich are going to say, you know what I can do? I can pack up and leave. And I can go to a place like Florida or Tennessee where they're not going to tax me, and then I can create or bring my business with me and create more jobs there than I would create in New York City. You're absolutely shooting yourself in the foot if you do that. I know it doesn't sound fun for a lot of people, but a lot of people want the rich to be taxed more. But these guys are paying a lot of taxes as it is. But the budget plan includes actually just more fees. Don't worry, it's not going to hurt everyday working New Yorkers unless you need an ambulance ride, unless you want to get a snack from the park, unless you need your trees cleaned up. Other than that, everything's fine. Also, no free stuff.
No.
Cool. Got another story for here in the lightning round. I just wondered how you felt about that lightning strike. It felt a little delayed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, all right. Maybe it was,
I thought it was on time for what I planned.
Maybe it was just me. Spencer Pratt is surging in the polls in Los Angeles. Speaking of mayors, mayors with common sense making a comeback. And he has now shrunk the lead that Karen Bass has on him to just single digits. This is a massive win. You're witnessing in real time a political movement happening in Los Angeles because of Spencer Pratt.
New polling showing political outsider, former reality TV star Spencer Pratt making huge strides in this race for LA mayor. The independent candidate gaining 12 points since March, now trailing Democrat incumbent Karen Bass by single digits. Pratt's campaign in next month's primary gaining traction with voters. He highlights LA's homelessness crisis and failed leadership. He does it very artfully with a ton of social media and some pretty powerful ads, I think, have really helped this race for him quite a bit. Uphill battle in LA, to be sure. Let's bring in Jerry Baker.
So Karen Bass now leads the polling at 30%, Spencer Pratt at 22%, Nathia Rahman, the one who Spencer Pratt invited to come with me underneath the freeway, and let's find some people that want to get off drugs. You'll get stabbed in the neck. She's down at 19%. So he's leapfrogged her, but he is gaining ground and gaining ground fast. And the hit squads are already out for Spencer Pratt. I mean, they're calling in all sorts of favors. The iconic ad that he had where he's walking in front of Mayor Bass's house, Nathia Rahman's house, Governor Newsom's house. He's like, look, this is where they live. This is where I live. And he's at his burned down house with the trailer. They're actually trying to run a smear piece on him on TMZ, claiming that he's not living in that trailer. He's actually living at a hotel. And it's like, okay, cool. But Spencer Pratt actually took the argument straight to TMZ yesterday and Harvey Levin, and it got pretty heated on TMZ.
Campaign ad certainly made it seem that you were living in that trailer. It was a high point of the commercial, but you're at the Hotel Bel Air. So kind of undo that for us.
No, to be clear, that is where, excuse me, that is where I live. That's where Karen Bass, Mayor Bass, burned down my house. That is where I will live until I have a new house. The Airstream is a temporary facility. A hotel is a temporary facility. Where my kids are in Santa Barbara right now is a temporary housing. This is where I live. This is where they burned my house down. So this semantics or the nuance of this is the consequences of their failed leadership. And again, I don't live at the Hotel Bel Air. I don't live in the Airstream. I don't live in the Santa Barbara. I don't have a house. They burned it down. That is why I got into this race, because of these people that will burn your house down and act like it's no problem.
It's amazing, though, that this is what they're doing. This is how scared that they are. They have to nitpick a political ad on Spencer Pratt to try and ding him because they haven't been able to find anything else. And make no mistake about it, all the Democrats in their race, all the opposition research groups, they have tried to find everything that they can possibly find on this guy. And the best that they can do is try and say, well, he doesn't really live in that Airstream trailer. That's a lie. He's not taking it sitting down.
So this idea that anyone's like, oh, he's at a hotel. I'm at a hotel because these psychopaths are messaging me every day. They're going to kill me because Nathia Rahman is calling me a fascist because I don't want people to have their kids next to drug addicts at the park or stepping in human poop when you get your matcha. I have common sense. That's not fascism. So these psychos here, I'm a fascist. And then they literally, like, if you would like to see the death threats, I can send them all offline where people are like, I'm going to hire people to kill you. So yes, unfortunately, now I have a security team and they will not, even if I wanted to stay in the Airstream, would let me because there's 360 unobstructed views since there's no houses. So you can literally snipe me out from any part from 300 yards away easily.
Spencer,
one sec. Not to mention the Airstream, it took over a month for LADWP to connect a wire for electricity to it, which was 3 days ago. It took weeks to get the water hooked up, which was yesterday. So for these people that want to focus on where I sleep at night, first off, I don't even sleep. I get 4 hours of sleep because I'm fighting these corrupt freaking politicians all day long. You want to see my phone hours? I'll screenshot it. It probably says 19 hours.
I mean, I love that he's fighting back. I love that he's pushing back. This is what happens when the Democrats are scared. He has a political movement happening in Los Angeles, and it is unbelievable to watch. Like, it truly, truly is. Never thought in my life I'd see this happening. Spencer Pratt, the reality TV star, is scaring the Democrats so much that they're calling up TMZ to do hit pieces on him? Are you kidding? It's unbelievable. Now, here's how you know it's getting even worse. Karen Bass is melting down on live TV because Spencer Pratt posted an AI ad where he's a superhero, she's the Joker, and somebody throws a tomato at her. And Karen Bass, as you just heard, Spencer Pratt is getting legitimate death threats. His security team won't let him near that property because of how easily it would be to shoot him. Karen Bass is saying, oh my gosh, this is starting to take a violent turn. And this really makes me nervous that these ads that he's posting are so scary and so violent.
But what's worrying me now is that his social media is now taking on a violent turn. And that worries me, because when you do that and when your messages are so hateful, or when you demonize people, then you do provoke people who are unstable, and you can jeopardize people's safety.
You mean like the throwing of the tomatoes?
Well, the throwing of the tomatoes, which look like blood, or drowning me and the governor in a reservoir. But there's also other violent scenes. And so I've noticed that it's taking on a violent trend.
Oh, yeah. He's a violent fascist. This is what happens when you can't argue the points, when you can't argue the issues. You have to turn to Democrat talking points, and that's all they have left in Los Angeles. That does it for the lightning round. It's 11:53. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville, and I got to give you my full seal of approval on the Wellness Institute of Nashville's brand new cutting-edge technology. Dr. Mitchell has absolutely done it again with the brand new Medical Bay 1. This is a futuristic healing machine designed by Dr. Mitch himself. You sit back like you're in the Artemis spaceship. You're getting a full-body massage while red light, near-infrared, and photon wavelengths light up your cells exactly how God designed them to respond to stimulate your stem cells for real tissue regeneration. This is epic healing that you're not going to find anywhere else. They also have some amazing options like non-surgical spinal decompression. What they're not going to push on you is surgery, painful injections, opioids. No. That is all temporary. This is real relief, what you're going to get with Dr. Mitch and the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Right now, they have the Epic Spinal Special going on, which means $33 off each visit for you. You can launch your pain-free mission today, painisbad.com, or call 615-246-5009. Again, the website, painisbad.com, or call Dr. Mitch and say, I got to get in Medical Bay 1 today. 615-246-5009, painisbad.com.
Yesterday in your Truth Social, you called the Iranians crazy bastards.
True.
What is your response to critics who say that...
I don't care about critics.
What is your response to critics who say that it is your mental health that should perhaps be examined as this war continues?
I haven't heard that. But if that's the case, you're going to have more people like me, because our country was being ripped off on trade, on everything, for many years until I came along. So if that's the case, you're going to have more people.
58 minutes past the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. We got Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Mason growing out the fro in the producer studio.
Is he going to do cornrows?
Half of it. Well, we're debating. There is a strong contingent of the audience that wants him to do fro in the middle, cornrows on the sides.
Oh, like a fro hawk.
Like a fro hawk, yes.
That'd be nice, dude.
Everybody agrees, though, since it's going to be the 4th of July, that we're going to need to dye it red, white, and blue.
I like it. He needs to just let it grow forever.
Well, he's jealous of Justin Pearson, the best fro in politics.
Guys, you got a good
Not jealous, competing.
It's fair.
That's it. You can do it, man.
We'll see what happens.
What stories are you paying attention to today?
I'll probably talk a little bit about China, a little bit about that.
Did you hear we've been over there doing meetings?
I heard that we were there doing meetings. I read somewhere, like it was just a back page or something. I don't know. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Probably talk about how much money our leaders here in Nashville and elsewhere are giving big business to come here while little businesses go out of business because of taxes. We'll talk a bit about that.
I heard that they're offering what, $30 million for Starbucks?
Yeah, some ridiculous amount like that. And like Amazon, they give all the stuff to Amazon. Amazon promised to all these things, delivered out of it.
I mean, I get it to a certain extent because you want to create jobs
and
for a lot of people, and there's a lot of give and take there. But
at the end of the day, the beauty of where we live is the uniqueness of downtown, like Broadway. Whether people like it or not, people want to come here. They want to go to Acme. They don't want to go to Chili's, right, Ken?
No, but there's also I think there's a lot of incentive for businesses to come here without the tax.
Yeah. Oh,
breaks.
yeah, absolutely.
Because you look at Lebanon, Tennessee, in particular, the proximity to the airport, how close it's like essentially the center of the country. You can get everywhere.
Everywhere is quick and easy. 2.5 hours to just about everywhere.
Well, yeah, but then it's like you can go up to the Midwest, you can go down to Florida, you can go up to New England. Like you're in a great location if you're a national brand.
Yes. Oh, totally. But that being said, watching businesses go out of business because they tax them to the point where they can no longer afford to stay alive is insane.
That's why we need a Nashville version of Spencer Pratt. Who steps up?
You.
Yeah. No.
No. That's a hard no from him.
It's a hard no. That's my reaction to that. It was Mason's first reaction to half cornrows, half fro.
I was about to say similar takes there.
Which was?
No. I said, we'll put it to a vote. He's like, please don't. I was like, we'll put it to a vote. 12:01, Super Talk 99.7 WTN.